Hello and Allah Pah to everybody. My dear Baha'i friend, non-Baha'i friend. Actually, the day that baha'u'llah manifested himself in the planet, everyone is Baha'i. The concept that I will be talking about. Time, believe it or not, is 12:40 in the night. It's actually the next day. It is 12th of April. Very tired. I had a great discussion tonight with a young person about the Baha'i faith. So I was not going to continue this tonight, but I decided to do because there's much to say. And I don't know about my lifetime. Last time I spoke to you about a little bit of a history of me becoming Baha'i in Iran. It was a couple years, 3-4 years before revolution. Then we decided to go to India. Tonight I'm going to talk few ideas that has worked for me in teaching the Baha'i faith. Part of it is a view, a proper view, and other part is just a practical matter that I discovered. First of all, let's see, why do we need to teach? I spoke to you of a principle, a prime directive I call it, that Abdul says is one of the founding principles of the Baha'i philosophy, that this material world and the spiritual world are intertwined in a way that one runs parallel to each other. So I'm going to then bring this, apply it to the matter of teaching and eating food. When we eat food, what kind of food that we need to, if it don't work after the food, you just go to sleep, no exercise, no work, and keep doing it, what's going to happen? We're just going to become a big fat guy. Just add to our weight. No insult to fat people, by the way. Just a matter of example. So, what should a person do to get rid of this big fat, bulging, imposing weight? He has to work. He has to do exercise. He has to turn energy into work in order to lose the calorie and keep his weight. Now, compare this in a parallel world to teaching the Baha'i faith. We study the Baha'i faith, the history of the Baha'i faith, the philosophy, the writing, keep studying and studying and studying, years after years maybe sometimes. And we don't do nothing about it. We exactly become like those fat people. Our soul, our brain bulges. We become big, fat soul. We become arrogant. We think we're better than others. Although in the Baha'i faith we have no priesthood. But the process of becoming a priest is this. To learn a lot, don't do anything about it. You become lopsided. Then you become arrogant. You think you're better than others. You think you're in charge. You have to teach others. You have to tell them what to do. So what do we have to do to get rid of this bulging attitude? We have to do exercise. We have to work. What's the work? Teaching Baha'i faith. When you learn it, you have to talk to it. Why is that? Taking the arrogance and the pride and all this misconception away? Because when you teach to a person who is not a Baha'i, he doesn't listen to you. You have to be humble towards him. You have to be considerate. You have to be patient. As I said, teaching brings put a lot of qualities at work in order to work. So when we do bring a person into the faith of God, then we experience a lot of ability, a lot of activity, spiritual activity, that reduces all this bigness and bulginess and pride and arrogance. So that's what the process of teaching is. Teaching helps us to get rid of these things, because learning Baha'i faith and studying it is just like eating food. That's the food for mind and for thought, just as the physical food is for body, that's for soul. Body has to work out to get rid of the extra weight. Soul has to talk about it and teach it to others to get extra things that's on it. That's point one. The second point is that now you start to teach. When I start to teach, I think I saw that, that when the light of God comes, it's like encompasses the entire planet. Again, use the same prime directive, the same one. I'm going to apply it here too. Just like a physical sun, where it comes and brighten and enlighten the entire planet, half of it anyways. The spiritual sun is the same way. When it comes, it brightens everything. So Baha'u'llah is the spiritual sun, which is counterpart in this world is our physical sun. When sun comes, everything comes up, brighten up, and you can see things around. Baha'u'llah comes, the same thing happens. So if you compare, even the dogs today are better off than when before Baha'u'llah comes. Animals even are in a better condition. All the people of the world, even the worst one of them, compared before the time the Baha'i faith appears, they are much better. You can see social improvement everywhere, Like equality of man and woman is almost everywhere right now, except for some of the Islamic countries. Compulsory education formula of Baha'u'llah is everywhere. So a lot of Baha'u'llah's teaching is like a sun indirectly is covering the people. Therefore we can say, as a figure of a speech, as Shoaib Effendi says, Baha'i faith is relative, he says, and the call to the nation is a relative truth, he says. So we can say relatively all the people are Baha'i. By the same token, no one is a perfect Baha'i. No one. Abdul Baha'is, everybody else has close, but not exactly him. The difference between us and Abdul was like a photocopy. We're the photocopy of the real things. So knowing this, then we have kind of a positive look to the people. I found myself that there are a lot of Baha'is that they do not know that they are not Baha'is actually. By the standard of Baha'u'llah. Baha'u'llah says Baha'is are known by deed, not by word. Sign up Baha'is or inheriting through their parents does not make a person Baha'i. But the principle of Baha'u'llah says investigation, independent investigation of the truth. These people are Baha'i because their mom and dad were Baha'i in Iran and they never investigated it to see if it is true or not. Or in the West or some other place, they just sign up as a Baha'i and they come in. What? A couple of things they say, we're okay, and they say sign and they're Baha'i. Never studied really. I'm not going to say that I'm better than them, no, or even any differences. I absolutely stay away from judging people. I'm just saying it looks that way. There are a lot of people, they are Baha'is, but they do not know. When I study Baha'i faith and Baha'u'llah, I see a lot of great Baha'is in the world, but they don't know they are Baha'is. What's our job as a Baha'i is to go find them and create that unity, which is the main message of Baha'u'llah. The message of the Baha'u'llah is not to get rid of the bad people. No. Abdul Baha'u'llah says the source of the wickedness is ignorance. So people are really inherently wicked. Very few. I would say even those are sick. They're not really wicked. They're sick. So what is Baha'u'llah's mission? Baha'u'llah has come to unite the good people. The very good people, they don't get along and they create bad. Remember the definition of bad. I said that before. But Abdul Baha'u'llah says, lack of light create darkness. There is no darkness as a source. There's no light. Also he says that it's a bad relationship. Like the snake of the The poison in the snake is good for a snake, it's not good for my body. And the same manner, bad relationship causes bad things happens. A great, good, nice Muslims fight because it doesn't get along with a great, nice Christian. Two good people, they fight and create bad things. So our job is to find the means as a Baha'i to show to the people how they can become united. They become friend, you know. This is very, very important. So we have to know this message. This is a very, very important thing. We know. I found it for myself, you know, that there are Baha'is out there already. They don't know they're Baha'i. We have to just go discover them and talk to them and create that, you know, friendship. So if you're teaching your spouse, don't even talk about it. You're too close for a media. Talking is a media. They are seeing you in action. Don't say anything about it. If whoever you are, it will transmit itself. And to ask questions, you know, reluctantly, you tell them, okay, I have some books, you know, you can go study or something. But you could use others to teach them, not yourself. Don't do that. With your families, immediate families that you're not seeing them all the time, like your spouse, you could answer the question actually yourself. The people you don't know in a city, you could definitely use books or any other way. The best way is talk one-to-one. Abdullah says in few tablets in Persian, he says that writing books and talking and all these things is not going